In this video, we are going to finish up the notes from the day one of solving radical equations. So in day one, we learned how to solve radical equations. We did these problems on the front of the notes. We basically raised both sides to the power in order to get rid of a radical or a raíz. And so we did these problems. So we're going to finish up the back of the notes where we're going to go over some steps as well as do 2 more examples. So on the back, we're going to go over some steps. So our first step is going to be to isolate the radical, the raíz. Once we have that isolated, then we squared or cubed both sides. So we would square both sides. Then we solved for x. And then we always checked our answers. So these are the general steps we're going to follow when we're solving radical equations. All right, we're going to go over 2 more problems. So in this problem, we have a cube root or a raíz cúbica. And we want to get that alone. So that means I want to get rid of this negativo 24, the negative 24, and this 8 here. So first we're always going to add or subtract. So in this case, we're going to más 24 to both sides. And then again, I want to get rid of this 8 here, this 8. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8. And I'll end up with the raíz cúbica of x. So the cube root of x equals 3. And I'm going to cube both sides. And 3 to the 3rd power, we would put that in our calculator. So 3 to the 3rd power, and we would get 27. So remember, because this is a raíz cúbica, that's why we're raising it to the 3rd power on both sides. If it was a square root or raíz cuadrada, then we would raise it to the 2nd power on both sides. So let's check our answer. So I'm going to do 8 times the cube root, the raíz cúbica, and then I'm going to take this 27 and put it in for x. And then we're going to do minus 24 menos 24. I'm going to put this part in the calculator and show that it equals 0. So in my Desmos, I'm going to do 8. And then to get the cube root or raíz cúbica, you want to go to your functions button here. We're going to scroll all the way down. Till we get to here where it says nth root. So I can do the cubed root of 27, the raíz cúbica of 27. And then we're going to minus 24, and it equals 0, which is good. That's what we wanted it to equal. So that means this answer is good, and we are done with this problem. The last type of problem we're going to do is when we have this raíz cuadrada on both sides. So I'm going to square both sides to get rid of the square root. And when you square this one, you're going to get x. And when you square this side, you're going to get 3x minus 2. So when you have that square root and you raise it to that second power, it's just going to cancel each other. Now I'm just going to solve this equation. So x is already alone on this side. So I'm going to minus this 3x over. Remember, this is a 1x. So I'm going to do una x menor 3x, so negative 2x. And it's going to equal negative 2. Then we'll divide by negative 2. And we'll get that x is 1 or uno. And then we want to check. So square root of 1 is equal to 3 times 1 minus 2. So we're going to have the raíz cuadrada of uno is equal to the raíz cuadrada of 3 multiplicar 1 menos 2. Menos. Sorry, guys, if I'm saying that wrong. So let's plug this into Desmos calculator. So let's do the square root of uno. What is going on? Hold on, you guys. Square root of uno is uno. And then we're going to do the square root of 3 times 1 minus 2. And so since this is equal to this, then that's good. They're both equal to uno. So it means 1 equals 1, which is good. So that means this is a solution.